Hello everybody, welcome to the video and welcome to the third episode of our series of rebuilding an axe. Today we're going to be getting a handle on handles. So when looking for an axe handle, there's a few things that you're going to want to keep in mind. First and foremost, you're going to want to make sure that it fits the axe head that you're going with and that it feels good in your hands. There's a variety of different ways that an axe handle can be shaped, and there's benefits and drawbacks that are mostly personal when it comes to each of them. Something more obvious to look for is how the actual grip feels. Here are two different axe handles. This one's a newer one that I'm using, and this one is an older one that I had on an axe, but no longer has an axe head. And as you can see, the swell at the base of this axe is quite larger and more pronounced than this one. And it really depends on how you swing, how you like the axe to feel. This one has a very solid stop in it, where this one is mostly just due to the curve there. That's what gives you the stop. And personally, I fluctuate between liking having a larger swell and not having much of a swell at all, depending on how long I'm going to be cutting for and if I'm going to be carrying the axe across any distance. The second thing that you're really going to want to be looking at is how much heartwood is being used in the axe handle. So heartwood is the darker rings that are closer to the center in the trunk of a tree. And that heartwood is a lot stronger, less flexible than the sapwood, which is the lighter colored wood towards the outside of the tree. Sapwood is going to have a lot more resilience to it. It's also going to have a little bit more flex in it, which allows it to absorb some of the impact from splitting or cutting over a long period of time. There's been some studies done that show that there isn't actually any difference in how much heartwood there is in a handle. However, just with how I learned about axes, I've always tried to stay away from heartwood because I don't want even the possibility of something shearing. And speaking of shearing, you're going to need to look at the grain, which is the third thing. When looking at your axe handle, you're going to want to make sure that the grain goes along the axe handle and not across the axe handle. If your grain is going across, you have a very large chance of shearing. If there's a bad impact, it can literally just break the axe where you hit. The second important part about your grain is you want to make sure that it runs from front to back. If you have your grain running across, there's just, once again, going to be a lot more impact. It's not going to flex as well, where if your grain is running from the front to the back, it is going to be able to absorb that impact and not have as much force, kind of like pushing all those layers together. Once you've picked out your axe handle and you know what you're going to use, we're going to need a few tools to actually fit it to our axe head. The tools that I tend to use are a wood rasp, which is pretty much a stronger grit file that actually cuts through wood, and sandpaper to be able to also work away some of that material and allow your axe head to fit perfectly onto the handle. Now, first things first, we need to get the lacquer off of the handle and get it sanded smooth. While it looks very pretty and makes the handle quite weather resistant, it'll just wear on your hands and will cause some of the worst blisters you've ever had. It's just as simple as sanding off this outer sheen with some sandpaper. The second step will be taking your axe head and working it lightly onto the handle. You don't want to force it on, but you just want to work it on there until it starts to get stuck. So you're going to see some marks that are on the handle from where the axe head was rubbing, and these are going to be where you're going to want to use the wood rasp to take off those higher points. And this is going to be a, unfortunately, very tedious process of just working over and over again, putting the axe head on and removing it, working down those sides until the axe head slides all the way down to the shoulder. When you're ready to actually affix the axe head, you're going to need to use one of two angles. With a smaller axe, such as the one I'm working with here, you're going to be looking for a 1-to-1, meaning that when the handle is touching the table, the head is also touching the table directly in the center. And for a larger axe, you're going to be looking for something that's a 2-in-1, which means that the bit will be contacting the table at roughly 1/3 of the way from the bottom of the bit. These angles just allow for a better contact with the wood depending on the length of the handle that you're choosing. Now that the head is hung in place, you're going to want to cut off the excess of the top of the handle to only about 1/4 of an inch above the head, and this will allow the wood that's just above the head to swell into place and really lock that head down. And next, you're going to want to take your hardwood wedge and make sure that it's cut to fit inside of your axe head. And then I choose to place some wood glue on either side, and I take a little bit of the shavings from sanding and put that in. It just allows for a better bond between two wood pieces. And you are going to pound that wedge into place. If you've hung everything correctly, you should not need the supplied metal wedges that most axes come with. And with that, that's how you refresh an axe. We have really brought this thing up from where it once was. Nice shined and sharpened head, as well as this beautiful handle, everything being hung correctly. And this axe is going to get plenty of use heading out into the woods and doing some camping. If you haven't already, make sure to like and comment on this video to let YouTube know that you're interested in what I'm putting out, as well as make sure that you hit the subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date on all the videos, and the little bell next to it will give you a notification every time a new video comes out. Thank you so much for watching this video and for watching this mini-series. We'll see you in the next one. Feel free to click either of these videos or head over to the YouTube channel and watch a playlist from start to finish. See you later.